Good morning and welcome to our Pilates class, mainly on the ball today. And whether you're with us live, you're most welcome. Lovely to see you back. Or you're on catch-up, you're all most welcome. So we're bouncing to warm up, but also to engage the core. So you can keep your bounce quite small. Just make sure you feel safe and that you have got non-slip socks on if you're wearing socks. If you feel you'd like to be a bit more energetic and see if you still stay on the ball, you can begin to bounce a little bit more strongly. And if you put one hand on your stomach and one hand in your lower back, you'll find naturally your core muscles have engaged. So we don't really need to go through that procedure. We pull up the pelvic floor, navel to spine, but we still think about those things, especially when we sit still. But this is the quickest and easiest way to engage your core. So let's add in, perhaps, some half stars. Feel free to stay at the level that you're working at. So one arm, one leg out to the side. That's it, if you wish, or just as you were, even just the arm. So just, I'll just shut this door. Oh, no, it's not the door. Something's bouncing. Yeah, it's you making a noise. The doors are bouncing. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can go for the full jack. That's it. Again, make sure you stay safe. And clearly, you must arrive back on the ball. If you were super strong and experienced, you can try lifting off the ball. But please don't do that unless you're experienced, because I need you to arrive safely back on the ball, not on the floor. Okay, that's not good, not at the start of the class. So you can choose what level feels right to you. And of course, we quickly warm up about doing this as well. Lovely. Good. So we're going to begin some hip circles now to loosen into the back, just like we're using a hula hoop. And we're making this lovely big circle. So be aware of your back. If you're at home, you'll know that I always ask how you are. We've done that with our students here. So if you're on catch-up, be conscious and go the other way with your circle. And if you need to make adjustments, I'm sure you will. I'll give you options, but stay safe. Good, so lovely big circle, feeling into your lower back. And if you want to work a little bit harder, you can move more forward. So you'll notice as you come up, you're using your stomach and your leg muscles more. That's it. Good. Now we can try figure of eight. So see if the brain can cope with that. That's it. Let's see how that goes for us. Squeeze a little bit more. You feel your back muscles and your buttocks working a little bit more as well with that. And then reverse it. And often that reversing of it feels a little bit more challenging. Yeah, because our brain, we used to do things in a certain way. Lovely. Good. So now let's come to awareness of posture. So when we sit still, just ensure we've still got that neutral back, stomach drawn in, and bring the arms from the side, arms over the head, and we come to awareness of breath now. So each time we exhale, we stretch up. You may like to place your tongue lightly behind your two front teeth. This is known as 5 points in yoga. We also use this instruction in Tai Chi. It relaxes the jaw and directs prana or energy inwards. And each time we breathe out, we're stretching up. And consciously slowing the breath now. And noticing how the back feels. And really see if, like you're trying to touch the ceiling, but keep your shoulders down. So you feel the length. That's it. Good. Interlace the hands, push the heels of the hands up, relax the shoulders. And we can look up if that feels appropriate for the neck. If it troubles the neck, continue to look forwards. Let the arms come down slowly. This movement is known as floating arms in Pilates. As we exhale, we draw the arms out, turn the shoulders in the socket, and slide them down the back. So feeling into the upper back. And it's helping the shoulders pattern. So as we know, many of us have a habit of being slightly rounded or slumping a little forward. Or if we're at a desk or a computer or driving, we're very often in a slightly slumped position. So this is to help the shoulders release. And they just simply slide down the back. We breathe in at the middle, and as we exhale, exhale, we draw the arms out, roll the shoulders in the socket. That's it, good. And slide them down the back. That's lovely, well done. We'll do it one more time. Good. And noticing that we're taking this calm, steady breath, coming into some side bends, breathing out as we come across into the center. If you feel you can manage a challenge, you can lift your heel. That's it. And lifting the heel means, again, we have to use the core a little more. Take hold of the top wrist and knees over to the side, as if your back's against a wall. Shoulders down. And breathe. Now notice where your body might be tight or resisting. And with your intention, send your breath into that space. And just surrender to it. Lift back up again. Switch the side. Calm breathing. Softening. Breathing. Good. And allow the arms to float down. As the arms float down, we have the intention to sit tall. So elevate the crown to the sky. Good. Exhale to rotate. Look to the back of the room. Into the center. Exhale to twist. One more to each side. Let's hold on this side now. And with your breath, look over your shoulder. Again, observe where you may be tight. Breathe into that space. And then slowly, slowly, the other way. So everything is calm and steady. And we focus on this calm, steady breath. So not a forced breath, a calm breath. Good. Back to center. And bring the elbows to the waist, palms uppermost, dumb waiter, as it's known. So again, it's a shoulder patterning exercise. And if the elbows stay on the waist, that's it. We have to use the rotator cuffs, the small muscles in our shoulders. And normally when we have a shoulder issue, there's always one of those muscles which has been injured. So this is helping to get the movement and pattern the upper body correctly. Good. Do it twice more. Good. Lovely. And then relax. Tanga 5.1. We now bring our chin to our chest to release into the neck. Feeling into the neck, half circles. Lifting back up and look from side to side now. Breathe into the middle, breathe out to look round. One more to each side and we stay with this. And again, just check in with that breath. Is it calm and steady? And back to the center and the other direction. Good. Back to center. Allow the head to drop over. I'll mirror image you over to your right side. So let the gravity stretch the neck. We don't lean to the right, we simply drop the head. So the neck is stretching. And in this position, a very slow neck circle. If you have chronic arthritis, a lot of neck issues, you may prefer just to leave your head side hanging. Leave the head there for a couple of moments. And then bring your head to your forward diagonal, nod your head, find the most uncomfy spot, that's the point where we need to stretch, and let the head stay here. And it's just the breath. Your sisters. Now rotate the head so the nose comes towards the armpit. Again, feeling that stretch through the neck. And then we can increase this stretch by bringing the head back to its first place, ear to shoulder. Take hold of the opposite ear. So your left ear, take your left hand below your ear and slide your fingers all the way down from your ear till you reach your collarbone. You're sliding your hands down a muscle called the sternocleidomastoid, a major neck muscle. And again, we just breathe. So we don't yank or force the neck. We always come to this steadiness and this calm breath. Hand to the back of the head and gently rotate the head around. And again, generally we will find a point where we know that we're stiff. So that's the point where we leave the head hanging. The weight of the hand is enough. We don't need to pull or yank. You can do a few little micro movements if you wish. Just a little bit of self-manipulation there for your own neck. Good. And then we come back up. Now when you return, no doubt you'll feel lopsided. Your head is pulled over to your right. Can you feel that? Yes, so clearly we need to correct that. So first of all, be conscious of lengthening and retracting. So this is an important habit to get into, because in life, we might be at a computer and our head's always to one side. So we get very out of balance. So first of all, be aware. And now let's stretch to the side. So ear towards the shoulder. Again, this nice calm face. The tongue at fire point will help achieve that. And very slowly, if you turned your head in one direction, circled on the other side, do so now. Very slowly and calmly. Good. Again, let the head hang here. Come back to a forward diagonal now. Nod your head. Find the point of most discomfort. Rotate the nose towards the armpit. This is a stretch, this one, nose to armpit. One of the chiropractors taught me, and that I normally see. So I've added that in. So now bring your head back to your ear, back towards your shoulder. Take hold of the opposite ear with your left hand, right hand below the ear. Slide your fingers nice and slowly down the side of the neck till you come to your collarbone. Inhale, exhale, make space. So again, this calm, steady breath and a light breath. And we have lovely Georgie to my left here. You might see her on video. Learning, I'm very new to it of course, learning the oxygen advantage, and I'm already starting to understand I don't have to breathe so deeply. In fact, it's better not to, but you need to speak to Georgie. I'm not at all an expert, I'm just a total beginner. I'm trying to be conscious of my own breathing all the time, which I hope I was anyway, just be more conscious and learning new things, which is great. So your head comes to your diagonal and you just move your head around and we stay here. So again, check with your breath. It's a calm, steady breath. It is a belly breath, but it doesn't need to be any deeper than is necessary. We do alter the breath, of course, for certain exercises, particularly in yoga. We direct the breath, but just a calm breath, a steady breath. Come back to center. And now we do a lengthening. So we hold the base of the neck with our fingers as if we want to pull the head away from the body, and we look up. So we're really stretching the neck, opening the chest, elbows to the side. Breathe calmly. Look down, massage the neck, find the uncomfy spots, and really get in there with your fingers. So we're very into self-massage. In our sessions, this helps us with tension, and it actually is from our Ayurvedic background. When we use daily self-massage, we go again, and we stretch the neck, look up, open the chest, keep breathing. Good, lovely. And look down and give yourself a nice firm massage. Lovely. So a little bit more mobilization for the spine. We're going to use the bendy ball or something similar, a cushion would do. So let's place that between our knees. This helps us with our alignment, so we keep a good alignment with our legs. So look down at your feet. You can lift your toes and place them down one at a time. Be conscious of the posture, pelvic floor lifts, hollow. Shoulders back and down, chin retracts. We've got a lovely tall posture, lovely, very good. Imagine you have a soft peach shape. Inhale, and as we exhale, we roll down bone by bone. Contraindications to this are discs out of alignment or osteoporosis. Inhale at the bottom, pelvic floor lifts. Exhale, restack your spine bone by bone, all the way to the top. Shoulders back and down, chin retracts, breath in. Good. Exhale to roll down. Nice and steady. Ensure you're not sitting back into the heels. The weight is equally distributed between the front of the feet and the heel, and slowly roll back up. Like the 3 pressure points we need to be aware of: base of the big toe, base of the little toe, and towards the centre of the heel. So we're not too forward, we're certainly not back. There's a tendency to sit back into the heels because it makes the stretch easier in our hamstrings, but avoid that. Good. And again, just that calm breath. Now, if you're very stiff, you can use a movement called flossing, this shift of the body weight side to side, which can help free up the spine. Breathe in, pelvic floor lifts, and again, maybe on the way up, you notice a particularly stiff point. You can use flossing if you wish. We'll do it twice more. That's it, good. You all have it nicely. Well done. Let the arms relax, so keep the upper body as soft as you can. We'll do this now, the last one, and this time we're going to bend the knees and we're going to hit the glutes. This helps them fire up, helps them warm up, and helps them become strong to support us. Now we're coming to dangle pose, so hold the elbows and simply dangle here. Keep the neck, face relaxed, jaw relaxed. Breathe. Could you go perhaps a bit deeper, not with force, but just with that sense of letting go. Both hands to the mat, look forward on the inhale, exhale, drop the head. Now we're rolling up and we're coming into some ski squats now to work on those leg strengths. So come into a nice deep squat and scapular squeeze, so squeeze the shoulders down your back, rise up, look ahead, arms above the head, but keep the shoulders down. Good. So nice deep squat. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Rise up, look ahead, shoulders down, and see if you can come onto your toes to challenge your balance. Squat, scapular squeeze, rise up, looking ahead, shoulders down. Carry on. Good. Now, watch those shoulders. You can see a few shoulders hunching up, so really think about sliding your shoulders down your back. If you're managing this easily, carry on. You can try closing your eyes for the rise up to challenge the balance more. Don't worry if you have a wobble, it wouldn't be unusual. So see if you can get that squat nice and deep. Really work those legs. Good, lovely. Well done. We're going to do it twice more. The last one we're going to hold each position. So we come down and we hold it. Keep breathing. Can you go deep in the squat? So it's like Uttanasana in yoga, really lovely deep squat. Then, like I use it coming down in downhill ski, hold it there, lengthen from the crown to the tailbone. Feel your legs working. I know most of us will probably be feeling those legs. Yeah? And then rise up and come up and hold your balance. Higher if you can on your toes. And slowly down. Well done. Good. So have a shake through. So, yeah?
Is your chest right onto the wall?
You're keeping a neutral spine. So you're having so it's not a hunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been doing the roll. So just recap on that. It's a flat back, neutral spine. But we're trying to get the stomach onto the thighs, but not by hunching. That's it. Yeah. Not what you do in the option advantage when we do that.
Just
straight. Yeah. So it's really the same position as Uttanasana in yoga.
Right.
Chair pose. Okay, we're going to do backward stretching on the ball. So if you're happy to do this, you can follow me. If you're not quite sure about this, please watch, and you can do your backward stretch on a smaller ball or a prickly ball at the back. So we start by sitting up. If you say not familiar, you might just want to watch first. Yeah, pelvic floor lifts hollow, and we walk ourselves forward so our lower back's on the ball. You can try and bring that far in, see how you get on with that. So check the position. Head slightly forward. If the head's here, we're going to end up with a bad neck very quickly. So like you're sitting on a chair, your bottom is not on the ball. That's it. And we use the ball again as a massage tool. That's it. Good. Yeah, it should feel good. Yeah, and it's a good stretch. It gives you back the right shape because when you push against the ball, unlike a bed, it's going to stay equal. So it stretches the back evenly. Now we're going to do the shoulders. So lift the bottom and allow the head and shoulders to come to the ball. And then just wiggle against the ball so you feel the upper back there. That's it. Good. Now have your lower back onto the ball. So slight pelvic tilt. Move yourself a little bit further back. At the moment the knees are still bent. So the pelvic tilt here. If you feel okay with this, it's not making you feel dizzy, feel free to stay with it. If it starts to make you feel dizzy or queasy, you may, until you get more used to it, need to come out. Put your hands on your shoulders and we're going to start some shoulder circles. So we breathe in, bend the knees, and the ball will move forward. As we exhale, we start to straighten the legs a little bit and the ball will move back. So we're increasing the stretch in our back while rotating our shoulders. Again, please watch if you're not fully understanding my instruction. I'm doing really well in there, but normally for a new person I might stand next to you or just say watch to start with, but you know, if you can be on a paddleboard, it in weather in Morecambe Bay, in the cold yesterday. I'm sure this is doesn't feel nearly as bad. And now we're going to stretch the arms if we feel that's right for us. And again, at our capacity, we can start to deepen the stretch. So please watch if this isn't unclear or you're not following. And then, again, if we're happy to do so, we're going to stay with the backward stretch. So the arms can either hang out to the side or they can drop towards the floor behind us. Now clearly this is a big stretch, so again just take it steady. Feel safe on the ball. If you're not secure, just watch. We don't normally let complete newcomers, I don't normally let complete newcomers do this straight away. I come and stand next to them, so if you feel you need any help, give me a shout. Okay, as long as you feel safe. Yeah. The rest of you should be fine. Now, if you're feeling okay, you can deepen your stretch. Some of us might be tall enough or flexible enough to turn the palms over and bring the palms to the floor. And so we're making a wheel shape. Again, not everybody will have that flexibility or the ball is the wrong height for us. And some people, this is generally from more experienced people, if they're really secure, they can start to heel peel and they want to watch, or start to leg raise. And if you're super happy on the ball, you can lift, which I don't do, but somebody in the room might start to lift both legs. But you've got to feel secure to be able to lift one or two legs. Or if you're quite flexible, you can push up off the floor with your hands so your back is no longer on the ball. That's it. So if you're tall like you are, Georgie, that's it. And good, lovely flexibility. So you might just want to have a look what's going on in the room as well, Georgie. This might be something for your little video.
Yes.
So, yeah. So dependent on our strength, our experience, our flexibility. And some people will not do any of this, they'll be on the small ball. Okay, so yeah, it all is dependent on how experienced we are and how strong we feel. Okie doke, so when you've finished and you feel you've done enough, you're very slowly going to come up, hands to the back of the head so you don't feel, oh, watch there. Yeah, you're probably really super good on a paddleboard, but you would probably want your hat, Rich has got his hands on the floor. As did I, when I was doing it.
Both legs off, you have to balance your lower back, push it into the ball.
Well, it's a question of using your arm strength, isn't it, as well, Rich? Yeah, yeah, to take. So, yeah, super flexible, but, oh, just go steady, Georgie, I don't want you falling off. Whoa, yes, there she goes, yeah. That is the idea, well done. Yeah, but you've got to be happy about that. And I've got to be happy that you can do it safely. We've got walls here, we've got to ensure our students safe. Okay, we need to counterbalance with you arching, so we all come forward, onto our knees, we put the head onto one side, and gently roll. So we're getting this counterbalance stretch as well as the neck release. Switch the side. Round drop really forward, so hands to the mat, head drops down, not your head, but a traction to the neck. And if you're, again, confident on the ball, you can lift your legs off the mat, put one ankle on top of the other, and swing your legs. So your head and upper body become like a ragdoll, and you're releasing the spine by swinging the legs. Switch one leg to the other, and swing, and then we come to a squat. So we stretch the inner thighs now. And we make a squat, and we use our knuckles, or some of us like to use these rolling pins. So if you brought your rolling pin with you, you've got yours, Judy, you've got yours, Rich. Yeah, so we like to do this because when you're in this position, you are already in a position to stretch, and I'm sure we know when we're stretched, and then we're rolling, we're going to get a deeper release. So it also stretches all the sacroiliac joints. Okay, so hopefully everybody's feeling nice and loose and well warmed up. Are you all warmed up, everybody? Yeah. Because now we go on with a bit more strength. Not that you haven't been doing strength, because clearly you have, but we're looking at some upper body strength now. So there's been a request this morning for plank. There are different options of plank, so we're going to look at the different options. And the plank does not have to be done on the ball. I think all the students in my class today are all strong enough for it on the ball, or the versions of it. but there is a version that you do on the mat. So if you want to do the mat version or leave this out if you're watching at home, please do. So the first thing we have to do is be safe getting on and off the ball. We squat, and I need to be able to ensure your teacher that you can do this safely. Your hands are making that paddle, and you walk your hands forward, and we'll just practice this to start with, and walk your hands back. Now, core stability means that and if the room is busy, which is not yet, that we stay in our mat space, and it's harder to come back. Now, if you're strong, because I don't want people to coming in off their mat, you come onto your knees and you come like so. Now, to walk from there back needs a lot more control, but you can see I'm staying on my mat. Keep it small to walk through, start with, and if you feel in control, you can go take it to full extent. So let's just watch that so we know we're all doing it safely. Start at the back edge of the mat, so assume that the room is busy, because clearly, again, this is a safety issue. If we fall off the ball, we can hurt somebody, ourselves or somebody else. So make your hands nice and wide, like we work in yoga, with the middle finger pointing down the mat. And just practice that walking forward and walking back. And keep yourself, don't try to come up just yet, keep yourself in a plank pose, so just drop your bottom, that's it. And then walk yourself forward and back. Judy, watch that, won't you? Because if you've not...
I'm not to do it.
No, well, if you haven't done it for a while, you know, strong, Rich has been doing as normal, and these two are pretty strong too.
Walk back then.
Yes, you walk back. If you want to come to the front edge of your mat, you push the ball back as I showed you. So I know you're tall, Georgie, but I'd still like you to try. You have to imagine that, you know, there's no social distancing. We would be getting up to 12 in this room, and there's other people around you. So if we don't if we don't stay in our space, we, as I've explained, might be a danger to ourselves and others. So be very aware of what's around you. You know, big walls there which could hurt us. So basically, it's a question of experience and strength, isn't it? Okay, we'll come out of that and we'll do some wrist work just to release the wrists. Good. So you're all getting the hang of that. And I always have to say to people, it's your personal responsibility. I will do my best with my instruction. Let's do some wrist circles to keep it safe, but it has to be everybody's personal responsibility to know if the exercise is appropriate for them and not to be competitive, which I know can be hard.
Competitive? What?
No, I've never heard of that. That word's not in my vocabulary. I don't know what it means. Push away into the heel of your hand. You just have to remember Pilates and yoga, and well, Pilates perhaps, but yoga is definitely not competitive. Fingers in and out.
And you never get competitive, do we, Dad?
Not there now.
Hands in and out. So we're pushing against our own hand, which helps with any wrist pain and carpal tunnel type situations. Hand goes down, push against your hand. So we're deliberately releasing the wrist because we're going to come back to some more bone loading. Wiggle your wrists. So clearly, as you will know, those who've been coming a while, if the people have injuries, and we're all very able group this morning, I'll give lots of options. You don't have to do the plank. So if you're at home, please know to do something else. Push against your own wrist, softness in the elbow though. That's it, good. Hand down, wiggle your fingers. And the other way. So please just watch. Now, so we've got the idea of coming on and off the ball. Now this time we're going to go into the sequence. So first of all, we need to be sure that we can do a plank on the ball safely. So you can see I'm not too far forward. For some people that's plenty, or on the mat. For those of us who can do a full plank on the ball, we lift onto our knees and we push the ball back and we rest on our shins. And it might be that we want to do some leg pulls or leg raises. When we lift a leg, clearly we have less balance. To take a rest, you sit back on your heels in child pose, or you come off the ball and just take a break. Okay. So we'll practice plank now on the ball. Are you right with this, Judy? Yes. Okay. So start at the back edge of your mat. When you get to the front edge of your mat, if you want, just see if you can manage a plank where you've just got your thighs on the ball to start with. If you know that's too easy, rise up onto your knees and push the ball back. Use your core. So you're on your shins on the ball. So you're on a full plank basically on the ball. That's it. And again, dependent on your strength, that's it, your balance, you can do something more challenging if you want. Look down at the mat, Rich, your head's up a bit, yeah. That's it. Ball's slightly soft, isn't it, for doing that? Yeah, you need a slightly firm ball, well pumped up ball if you're going to try standing on. They're not too firm, these. Good. So remember, when you're on a plank or anything that's forward on the ball, come off before you think you need to, because you're going to fatigue and you might not have the right energy to come off the ball safely. That's it, Georgie. So when you're lifting a foot or whatever, try not to let the ball move around too much, because it's you controlling it with your core, clearly. Yes? Good. Take a break, everybody. Come up in your own time. Nice and safe. You can walk back or you can put your knee to the mat. Let's take a stretch. So this is partly to make sure we're keeping safe, but also not to work the muscles so we keep it safe. So we put the hands on the top of the ball and we push the chest towards the mat to make sure we create balance. Good. Now we have a sequence that we can use, which I call plank, half handstand, plank, child pose. And the half handstand can become pike. So this is quite strong, but perhaps not super strong yet. And we have a lot of students who eventually build up to this. So there I am in plank. This is half handstand, so you lift up, shoulders over your wrists, back to plank, child pose. Now child pose is a great stretch, so you can choose to stay here. Now, I would start that if you are fairly new to it. Rich, you will know, and anybody else, you can start in plank, you can come into pike, when you stand on the ball, handstand on the ball effectively, back into plank, and if you want your rest, sit back onto your heels for child pose. So, Judy, you can do it. Don't try the pike today. You guys can do what you think.
Bring it in.
Plank. So I showed you plank, half handstand, plank, child pose. So it can be plank, pike. This is pike. That's James doing the pike. Plank, child pose. Your child pose is your rest. It's not a total rest because you're still bone loading.
Plank,
but handstand. Yeah, I'll watch you. I'll explain. So come into plank, everyone, to your level. That's it. Plank. Yeah, you can give yourself more space. Come into plank. Now, for the first round, the new people, come into half handstand. So you simply pull up in your stomach muscles and lift your bottom into the air. So your hips, or you're going straight into pike, Geordie. That's fine.
Oh, is that not half?
No, that's fine. That's what Rich was doing because he's strong enough.
What am I doing?
Right, what am I doing? Let me do it with you. So just follow me to start with. Okay, so plank, yeah? Half handstand, lift up so your shoulders are over your wrists. Your hands are slightly wider than your shoulders. That's half handstand. Back to plank, yeah? Child pose, so sit back on your heels. That's the sequence, clearly. Now, that's sequence one, I'll repeat. Plank, half handstand, plank, child pose. Yes. The second sequence is plank, but further forward, so the much more challenging one on your toes. Pike, which is full handstand on the ball. Plank, sit back onto your shins if you need to. Child pose. So there's an advanced one and a good intermediate level, and the more beginner level, you're done. I'm not surprised. It's hard. I mean, you've got super strong people in the class with you, Judy. Don't worry, next week will be some more people, I hope, anyway, of a level that's perhaps not quite as advanced as what you'll watch. And then, well, you will. And then look at one-legged, so that's sort of the super. But Rich is advanced, as you know. That's it, Georgie. So well done. Oh, well done. Oh, look at those two. Oh, look at them making straight into ball. Have you got your feet?
And he's cheating as if he
But super, very good control. So if you're watching at home, we've got people going into handstands from the ball. So super good control. Advanced work. Let me point that out. I can't do that. But Rich and
I actually
James.
felt like when my leg was arching my lower back slightly.
Well, this is the thing. You know, you've got, because you're super flexible in your spine, George, just do your wrists and your elbows for me. What I've noticed, I've said this to you, actually, you have, because you're so flexible, you can't avoid it, you tend to do this.
So you have to think then,
You have
when
to
I'm
keep,
upside down, going like this?
yeah, absolutely, tailbone away, absent. So James is the one who will teach you the handstands.
Yes.
And I mean, I can headstand, but I've had to stop because of my neck. So let's leave that there. You can keep practicing. That's better. That's better. Yes, that's better. You're nice and straight. I bet you'll feel that. Well done. Yes, so super strong. Yes, very good. Well done. You're starting to get shaky. Time to stop. Then yes, you know, breathing is terribly important, Georgie. Do you know about this light, calm breath? I think you need some breath training. Let's lie on our back, everybody. That's sort of enough of that for the moment. Let's do some shoulder bridge, but well done. You did super well. Yeah. You've got a competitor now, Rich. In your class, I can see if these two in class together, especially with James. Oh goodness, what's going on? I think Judy, we need some more of the older ones in. Yeah, I mean, you're doing super well. A lot of our students can't do anything. Well, actually, people do very well with training, don't they? You know, loads of people do these things. It's just practice. Anyway, we're lying on our back, knees over hips, and find our neutral back. If you've got your pressure mat, feel free to use it. And a nice gentle exercise, we would print the spine. Just push the back into the mat, which releases the back, especially if we've been doing any back arching or have a sore back. So it's a standard Pilates exercise. And now very slowly you're going to come up bone by bone. A breath in at the bottom, and slowly with control, exhale to rise up vertebra by vertebra, in at the top. Find your nice straight line, no wobbling. Pelvic floor lifts hollow, and very smoothly and slowly return to the mat. And the key here is control and stability, so no wobbling. Inhale at the bottom, exhale to rise up, vertebra by vertebra. Legs parallel and straight. Your glutes will be strong when you're here at the top. As we exhale, we come down bone by bone. Good, and again, a nice, calm, steady breath. Now, when we come up, if we know we're not wobbling, inhale at the bottom, we exhale to raise the back. Inhale, and we can stretch the arms and put them on the mat behind us on the floor. And then leaving the hands stretching back towards the wall behind you on the floor, slowly, slowly return back to the floor, bone by bone. Find your neutral back and then stretch your arms again and bring your arms back down by your side. So that increases the traction and increases the need to work with a good core. When we take the arms and stretch them and leave them on the mat, and then slowly, scooping and hollowing, find each vertebra. So nice and controlled. And we know we're not in control if the ball is moving. So the idea, of course, is to keep the ball stable. That's it. So calves on the ball. Start with quite bent knees. And then when you come up, that's it, head down, you rise up, so come up bone by bone. Now stretch your knees, that's it, and stretch your arms, and if you can, and put them on the, now, can you see how the ball's moving?
Yeah.
You need to try and correct that. So if the ball's moving away, try not to allow that to happen, and maybe just keep your hands on the floor for the moment, till you can keep that straight position. That's it. We'll do it a couple more times. Keep practicing clearly if you're at home, and clearly you'll know if I'm teaching live I'm going to move around a bit now. I'm not staying static. That's it, Georgie. That's it. So try and really take the wobble out of the ball. And when you're fully up, stretch your knees. Yeah, that's it. So you're in a straight line. Yeah. Knee rotating up. Yeah, I know it's small, but it's all significant. And it's good to be taught, you know, that's it, because you know, we all pick up habits and we think we've got things right, and it might be just something quite small, but if we practice with a hip out of alignment or a knee or a spine, in time that's going to give us other issues. All right, let's finish off the one you're doing. I go to be taught. In fact, I need to go back to being taught because I, like everybody, haven't really been in a group class for ages. So if your legs are managing, we're going to do a bit of hamstring work. This time we bend the knees and put the feet on the ball, so the knees directly over the hips. Okay? Hands down by the side. You might want to take your pressure mat away for this, Judy. Push into the ball with your feet and lift your hips as high as you can. So your knees are pointing up and your hips are really high. Now stay there. You might notice your calves and quads and your shins even. If you're not wobbling, stretch both arms up towards the ceiling. Only if you're not wobbling. If you're shaking or wobbling, please keep the hands on the mat. And very slowly, much more tricky, roll down, but with the arms stretching up towards the ceiling. Stretch your legs out, take the arms behind you, keep your ankles and calves on the ball, and swing side to side. That's known as hammock exercise or release exercise. Good. Now we're going to go again. You can do either of those levels, so hands on the mat, hands stretch up, or something a little bit stronger if the legs were coping with what you were just doing. Start with the hands on the floor, chin tucks in, lift up, and now push the ball away with two legs. If you've really got strong legs, you can try stretching one leg into the air and pushing away with one leg and see how your leg strength is. But stop before you feel you might go into cramp, because that one easily puts us into cramp. At least I find so. And again, when you have...
How does the leg move if you have it up them?
the leg in the air stays
that?
straight. You can do. I normally just keep stretching it up, but you could lower it and lift it. That would be another option. It's hard, isn't it? Yeah. You have to have really strong legs for that. My legs usually give up after about one or two of that. So when you've had enough, but remember before you go to cramp, because it's not nice if you have to, get a bit of cramp, begin to circle your wrists and your ankles just to give them a release. Well done, everybody. And maybe just flick your fingers in and out and wiggle your fingers and toes to bring in that mobility. Very good. Well done, everybody. Now let's do some back extension. For this we won't work with the ball, so you can take the ball away, just let it roll over to some place. And thank you. And we're going to lie in a straight line on our mat, with the legs and arms hip width apart. So find your balance, check you're not rotated more on one hip than the other. And here we're going to practice what we call star. We stretch the opposite fingers, so let's do right hand, left leg, far away from each other as they can. Face stays down, and fractionally, I mean 2 centimetres, lift the fingers and toes off the mat. And then your head is down. I'm just looking up a moment to see if you're right. And then switch side. So it's all about traction, this. It's nothing to do with height. It's literally pulling the leg back into alignment. Now, could you flex your feet, please, when you stretch away? And if you can't easily touch the mat, your leg is too high, which means you're slightly twisting your pelvis. So it's not anything to do with height. In fact, if you do it with your toes, when you flex your foot with your toes on the floor, then that would give you the idea. That's it, that's better technique. Pilates is all about technique if we want to use it to help really pattern the spine and the whole skeleton. Now, if your back is okay, you're not got a disc out, you can continue, but this time you can raise your head and the arm and leg, but keep looking down to preserve the neck alignment. And as you come up, you exhale. Keep the legs straight, don't bend the knee. So the leg is not really high, but it will be higher than it was. Yeah, and you can lift your chest too. So remember, there are levels. I'll normally start with a simpler level and build up. Good. Come back down. Make sure you've done it evenly. So if you need to do one more on one side, go ahead. Now we come to diamond press. So we put the fingers together like so, make a diamond shape with the arms. And as we exhale, we come up, but look down at the mat so we don't throw the neck out. Exhale on the raise, in on the lower. Again, nice and calm and steady. Like this with the hands. You just have a look. That's it, fingers. So you make a diamond shape with the arms.
Right.
That's it, yeah. Yeah. And place yourself fully down with your legs. Just move towards me a bit so you've got a bit more space for your legs. Yeah. So you're again keeping these nice straight. That's it. And rest your feet. Rest your tops of with your feet on the mat. Right. Can you let your legs go straight, or do they not naturally want to? Your ankles are a bit stiff.
They are a little bit.
Yes, they don't want to relax.
Yeah.
If you just look at my feet, look,
Yeah.
you're a little bit like this.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to ensure that you keep these straight lines and your ankles and your knees are not rolling out. All right, so let's change that and come into Sphinx now. As we exhale, we come up. Inhale to lower. Lengthen from crown to toes. Nice and steady. Always think traction. And slight pelvic tilt so we don't overarch the spine. We don't compress the lumbar. One more, stay on the up. Shoulders down, neck long, calm breath. Now, if this feels manageable, we're going to take the hands away, but not drop down. Interlace the hands, take the hands off the buttocks. Stay lifted. Keep breathing. Good. Well done. Feel free to rest at any time. Next level is to start to lift one leg at a time. So we're working the glutes a bit more. Lift both legs if you can. So I'm obviously making it more difficult. Rest when you need. And the final one is to reach both arms forward and lift the legs as high as you can. That's it. And if you've got a really strong back, flexible back like a dancer, you will make sort of shape that Georgie's making. Yeah. That's because Pilates was used for dancers, of course. Well done. So let's lie down and zigzag the legs to release the spine. We're coming to quadricep stretching now. So hold on the inside of one foot. If you can't reach the foot, you can use a strap, or ladies, I think we can all manage, you can hold our leggings, but gentlemen, you would need to use a strap. Because we don't want to lean to the side, so you put your strap around your shin. If you can hold with two hands, do so. Hip and knee in alignment, push your hip bone into the mat, shoulders down, and feel that stretch into the quad. Can you even pull the toes up onto your buttocks? So you're increasing your stretch in your shin. And foot, of course. Switch leg. Again, check alignment, so not leaning to one side. Feel that stretch in the quad. Calm breath. And dependent on our flexibility and strength, we can hold on the inside of both feet now. Breathe in. As we exhale, lift your chest and your stomach. This is known as bow pose in yoga. If you know Ujjayi pranayama, you can practice it. And you can breathe into your belly, which might mean you start to rock because you expand your belly. So it will be like this. Well, we've got some perfect bow poses here. Can you please just watch and look what you're supposed to be doing? Oh, you stuck down there, guys. Swing your legs. We'll have to
Anatomically speaking, it's rather more difficult for gentlemen to rock in that position. I'll leave that to your own imagination.
I don't understand. All right, cobra, everybody. Hands under the shoulders. Remember, not everybody makes a cobra. It's not good for everybody's back. Feet more together. So don't feel you have to come up. You can come up with on your palms, but maybe you just stay in this sort of sphinx type position. If you can push up more and bring your elbows against your waist, shoulders down, but keep your pelvis on the mat for cobra. Elbows against waist, so squeeze the elbows in. Shoulders down. And again, think of a slight pelvic tilt because it helps release and create length in the lumbar. Stay with your breath. Now, if you are flexible and you know your spine will be safe, feel free to go into any options. You can look up or do King Cobra, toes on your head. Zigzag back to child pose. Take our time. Release the spine nice and gently and with control, forehead on mat. Take some full deep breaths. And leave feeling extension, so the back may feel a little sore. Don't be too concerned about that. As long as you've not pushed yourself in the previous positions, you've just simply stretched it. Good, lovely. Okay, so we're going to come to our final stretching now. We're going to start with our bendy ball and work with our glutes. So if we're going to lie back onto our spine, and we use the bendy ball, I often use it in Pilates and yoga to be fair, because it actually helps increase our stability, because clearly we mustn't fall off it. put the bottom onto the ball, but also it helps release the spine. Again, with newcomers, sometimes this is too much. I was teaching a very beginner early in the week and she couldn't stay on the ball. She wasn't controlled enough in the core, and that's fine. So we hug our knees to our chest and feel that additional stretch in your lower back. And now we're going to take this into the root stretch by placing your right ankle onto your left thigh. Open the right knee with the heel of your hand or the elbow. At the same time, bring the foot closer to your body, your right foot that is. Find the stretch in your right buttock. Close the eyes and breathe. And again, we can direct our prana into areas of need. Now, if you're quite flexible in your hips, you might find you're not getting a great stretch. It might not feel enough. In which case, you can slide your right knee over your left knee and hold the outside of your feet, because then you will, you're in what we call shoelace, and you'll feel that deeper stretch into your right buttock. Calm, steady breath, and it's a yogic breath, so it's into the belly. Eyes closed, tongue at 5 point, and a soft breath. So as from a yoga perspective, if something was painful, and we're doing something like a yin stretch, which can be very hard, we would say that it's fine to use your jaya pranayama, the sounding pranayama, because that can enable us to cope with the pain and go deeper, so that we can control our prana, our breath, with different pranayama exercises. And then slowly switch, so left ankle onto right thigh, open the left knee with the elbow of your left hand or your palm, bringing the foot at the same time, so the left foot comes closer, and you'll notice how that increases the stretch. Soften into it. And then if you know that you can easily manage this and it's not giving you the stretch you need, bring the left knee over the right, hold the outside of both feet, and draw on the feet till you feel, no doubt, a stronger stretch in the left buttock. And then just check in, am I holding tension in muscles that don't need to be tense? Clearly there's tension in the wrists and the forearms and some deep stretch in the left glute, but check in with your face, your shoulders. Are you relaxed? Lovely. And then draw the knees to the chest. Now we're going to work with both hamstrings unless you feel your hamstrings are very tight, in which case I recommend working with one hamstring at a time and using a strap. Extend the legs into the air. So let's see if we can get two quite straight legs. If you're quite bent in the knees, I would advise coming off the bendy ball and working with a strap and drawing on one leg at a time. Otherwise, we're going to hold on to the ankles or wherever it can reach, or use a strap, and begin to flex and point the ankles. And as we flex the feet, notice how the stretch in the hamstring increases. Now holding on to your feet, or wherever you can reach, and drawing on the legs now. So when we work with both hamstrings and we're on the ball, we'll feel the stretch also into our lower back. Yeah, so again, it's a good idea if those hamstrings are a bit tight just to work with one leg. And you can keep the other leg bent and put the ankle on the floor, or if you're a little more flexible, the leg on the mat can straighten out. And we stay with it. Just breathe into it, seeing if you can develop the stretch any more. If you're working with the one leg, feel free to change. Otherwise, stay with the two. And for those of us who like a stronger stretch, we can try a the hand to foot pose when we draw on the legs more, lift the head and try and bring the nose to the shins. So you're doing a forward fold, but you're lying on your back, of course. That's it. Very slowly. Well done, everybody. Come off the ball. Let's finish with a groin stretch. Soles of the feet together, knees drop wide. Make the same shape with your arms over the head, so it's an open diamond shape. And take a few moments to rest here. In yoga, I call this the open sunflower. And you'll find that there's quite a lot of crossover between some of the yoga and Pilates, especially when we come to some of the stretches. So just stay with it. Just enjoy the moment. And then let the legs straighten out into Shavasana. We'll pause in Shavasana. Good. So we finish in a calm and centered manner. Stretching the arms along the floor behind you. Circle the wrists on the ankles. Big circles, one direction and the other. Interlace the hands, send the heels of the hands, the heels of the feet away. Take a breath in and sigh. And again, in. And without opening the eyes, let's roll over to our side, our favourite side, bending the knees, resting your head onto your arm. Very slowly, sit up, keep the eyes still closed. And come to your cross-sitting position, using this as our final posture. So sitting as best as you can, feel free to use blocks if you find it challenging to sit upright, or even coming conversely into lotus pose or half lotus pose. And in this position, check in with your posture. Are we upright? Are we on our sit bones, shoulders down our back? How is the breath? Is it calm and steady? How is the mind? Is it quiet? And whatever is your experience is okay. But by practicing these mindful awarenesses, we can become more calm and peaceful. And this is our default. This can be our default position. We bring our hands together. And namaste, rub them till the palms feel really warm. And then palm the eyes, cupping the hands over the eyes. Slowly separating the fingers and bringing the hands gently and slowly away from the face, but keep the eyes still closed. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes again. Well done, everybody. You did so well. Very good. So nice to teach real people. So if you're watching at home, we'd love to see you back. But whatever, please ask if you have any questions always, especially those of you at home. Thank you for being with us. Namaste. Namaste.